Skill 2 and good evening, everyone. Welcome back once again to MSBS Weekly Guided Meditation by Phra Goh. Today is the 24th of September 2024. We are very grateful and glad to have with us 𝐼𝐻 Adhibalo, popularly known as Phra Goh, to conduct this weekly guided meditation class and a short sutta study. 𝐼𝐻 will be continuing on the subject on heavens. 𝐼𝐻 will be leading the homage to the Buddha and taking of five precepts for Buddhists. Now let us compose our minds, put our palms together, and welcome 𝐼𝐻. Over to you, 𝐼𝐻.
Okay, thank you, Terence. So we start off with paying respects to the Buddha by bowing 3 times. First bow, second bow, third bow. And the opening chant, homage. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. 3 refuges. Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Sanghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Dutiyampi buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Dutiyampi dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Dutiyampi sanghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Tatiyampi buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Tatiyampi dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Tatiyampi sanghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. 5 precepts. Pāṇātipada vēramani sikkhapadang samadhiyāmi. Adinādāna vēramani sikkhapadang samadhiyāmi. Kāmesu miccacara vēramani sikkhapadang samadhiyāmi. Musāvāda vēramani sikkhapadang samadhiyāmi. Suramēraya majjapamādātāna vēramani sikkhapadang samadhiyāmi. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, very good evening to everyone. We are still in this series of Too Much Heaven. So from what I recall, the last session, we are still at the Salayaka Sutta, and we are going to cover the different realms of heaven, the 31 planes of existence. So we kind of touched on the first heavenly plane, which is the Chatumaharajika Devas. So according to the chart, previous slide, yes, according to the chart, from the bottom of the pyramid, that's the lower realms in the red rectangles, and the pink rectangles onwards, then that's the human and higher. So human realm, we talk about human life cycles, and how do you call it? Vary from, according to the scriptures, either 80,000 years, it would evolve all the way to 10 years. So now we are kind of like at a 100-year cycle, it would evolve to 10 years. and eventually evolve back to 80,000 years, where the next Buddha will appear, the Maitreya Buddha. So that's the human kind of life cycle. And we talk about the Chatu Maharajika. So I've covered the 4 races and the 4 kings. So somehow they take up like 4 directions: east, south, west, and north. So this king Dattaratha are in charge of the Gandhabba race. Then the king Virulhaka controlling the Kumbandana race, and the king Virupaka controlling the Nagas, and the king Vesavana controlling the Yakas. So sometimes in Thailand, you might see the Yaka kind of guardian, door guardian, they call Vesavana. So they try to put the king, king of these Yakas, to be this guardian deva, guardian protector. Okay, so if you want to look at the lifespan, you look at the small digits on the right. 500 celestial years equals to 9 million human years. So it is believed that this heavenly plane, if you're born in this so-called spirit realm, so these 4 races, they can either be earthbound devas, they can be like spirits living among the nature in the forests, in the caves, in the rivers, and so on, or they can be skybound. So these 4 races can, choose to abide in various places, locations. So these are the realm that is most closely associated with the humans. Yeah, they somehow they might be territorial. So sometimes people want to walk into uncharted territories and go into the forest and whatever not. I think a lot of these indigenous people, the tribes and so on, they have protocols like how to respect nature. You're not supposed to, spit on the trees and the plants and so on. Yeah. So in the monastic rules, we also have this interesting rule not to defecate on the greenery. Not to defecate on greenery. But in Chinese culture, very different. I remember when I was a kid, when we need to do and answer the call of nature, parents would bring me to a tree, ask me to, before we pee on the tree, you have to tell the tree "xiam." It means ask the spirit there to excuse me, then you kind of do your business. But in the monastic rules, we are not supposed to defecate on those plants because there might be spirits residing, taking residence in that plant. And if they take offense, they will do something funny to you. So that is again, the belief. Okay, so we talk about the lifespan. So it is believed 1 celestial day equals to 50 human years. So you calculate yourself. So 365 times 50 equals to 1 celestial year. And you times 500, you get the number of these 9 million human years around there. So that is the calculation. So they have very long lifespan, but of course, everything is impermanent. So these beings, if they do not perform merit, they will pass on. They will pass on. So when they pass on, then if they use up all the good karmas, they'll be reborn in the lower realms. So these spirits, not all of them, not all of them like follow the precepts like our, the Buddhist 5 precepts. So they have their own, I would say, ways of trying to make merit. So some of these cases would be like taking up possessions, seizing of human body, taking possessions. If they are so-called in the good side, then they will try to help the human race and give advice and so on. But in the suttas, it's only mentioned about the negative ones. They talk about taking possession and harming humans. So in that realm and above, there are also good and bad devas. Yeah, good and bad devas. Not all heavenly beings are good. So if a meditator or even a non-meditator, you encounter a spirit or a deva, most, how do you call it? Try to have some street smart and try not to, how do you call it? Be over believing. Do not blindly believe what the deva say. Okay, so that's the Chatu Maharajika devas because they're closest to human realm, so they associate a lot of the humans. Not much being said to the next higher realm, which is the Tawa Tingsa heaven. So the Tawa Tingsa heaven onwards, they are all sky-bound beings. So hardly any reference of them being earth-bound. They might visit the earth, they might visit the human realm, but very rarely. So the Buddha give an example. Say the human realm is like a dung or trash. So only the dung worm will like to eat the dung, but normal people won't like to touch the dung or the feces. Yeah. Or another example I always give is this a case study when a Brahmin asked the Buddha about these devas coming to human realm. So the Buddha gave an example. If there were a pond, a muddy pond in front of you, would you want to jump down into that pond? Let's say you've already taken a shower. You're dressed in your white robes. Would you want to jump down into the muddy pond? So this Brahmin said, no, he won't want to jump down. He's so clean. Why must he jump down and get dirty? So the Buddha said, if the pond inside, I would tell you there were diamonds and jewels, all kind of precious gems, would you want to go in? And the Brahmin said, definitely, I'll go in. I get all the gem. I don't have to work for the rest of my life. I don't mind taking multiple showers after that. So it's, in a way, it's a worthwhile investment. So the same thing, these guardian devas, especially the higher realms, they'll come down to the human realm if there's someone worthy, if there's a highly cultivated practitioner, maybe someone realized, then they'll come down. If not, they'll stay in the heaven. So that's for the Tawa Tingsa heaven. So if you look at the lifespan, or we look at the translation first, heaven of the 33 gods. So there are like 33 kinds of kingdoms or civilizations. So it's like a council. So it's headed by this King Saka. Yeah, so it's like in charge by one person. And it is believed this King Saka is a devout follower of the Buddha. And it is also believed he's a stream enterer according to the suttas. Yeah, so we have one guardian there. And if you look at the lifespan, 1,000 celestial years equals to 36 million human years. Yeah, so the Tawa Tingsa heaven is fourfold of the heaven of the four great kings. And they are 4 times as long as the 4 heavenly kings. So that's the lifespan. Okay, and let's look at the higher one. If we look at the Yama realm, heaven of the Yama gods. So there's no there's no translation for the word Yama. So sometimes you might see the term Yama in the hell realm. So I think we covered in the previous series on the hell. You see the word Yama also. So we don't know whether is it the same heavenly being that's in charge of hell, but the word is the same. So it is believed in that realm. 2,000 celestial years equals to 144 million human years. And the time also different. 1 celestial day equals to 200 human years. So same with the Tawa Tingsa heaven. They change the time frame. So 1 celestial day equals to 100 human years in the 33 gods. So the time keep on getting longer when you go higher. Okay, then let's look at the next one. Tusita heaven, heaven of the contented gods. So it is believed that the bodhisattvas reside there. That means the bodhisattva before coming down to the human realm to become a Buddha. So their so-called last life as a heavenly being will be in this Tusita realm, heaven of the contented God. So our historical Buddha is believed to be also residing in the Tusita heaven before choosing his birth in the Sakyan kingdom in Nepal, India region 2,500 years ago. And in the next Buddha also, or the Maitreya Bodhisattva currently residing in this Tusita heaven. So when his time is up, he will descend, come to get reborn in the human realm as the future Buddha. So let's look at the lifespan. So 4,000 celestial years, or 576 million human years. Yeah, so one celestial day equals to 400 human years. So the lifespan gets longer. All bodhisattvas are reborn there. So interestingly, a person doesn't have to be a bodhisattva to be reborn in the Tusita heaven. For example, the Buddha's mother, biological mother, this Queen Mahamaya Devi, after she passed on 1 week after giving birth to the historical Buddha, she was immediately reborn in the Tusita heaven. And another case study would be this rich businessman called Anathapindika, the richest patron of the Buddha. He is also reborn in this Tusita heaven. So a person doesn't need to be a bodhisattva to be reborn in a Tusita heaven. So the post-canonical stories are so afraid of the Buddha going up to this Tusita heaven. So of course there's a story about the Abhidhamma, right? They talk about the Buddha want to go up to this heaven to teach the mother Abhidhamma. So they have to come up with this story that the mother have to come down to Tawatingsa heaven, even though she's reborn in a Tusita heaven. They're afraid that the Buddha, if he preach in a Tusita heaven, all the bodhisattvas there get enlightened, then there'll be no more future Buddhas. So they have this kind of interesting theory. Okay, then how about the next one? Nimanarati heaven. 8,000 celestial years equals to this 200, 304 million human years. So one celestial day equals to 800 human years. So heavenly gods enjoy the 5 sense pleasure objects which they create for themselves. So basically, whatever they wish, it will appear. So some people loosely translate these are the gods of creation. So they can create whatever their mind, whatever thing will appear. So I think most of the heavenly beings, they might have some special ability to manifest objects whenever they wish. So, but this Nimanarati heaven, they might do it more proficiently, I suppose. And the next one will be this Paranimitta Vasavati heaven. So this is the realm where the so-called Mara resides. So in Buddhism, there's this evil character that try to prevent the Buddha from reaching enlightenment. So we call that Mara, or the Lord of this Lord of Death. It kind of rules over the birth and death. So their lifespan is this 16,000 celestial years. So very long, 9,216 million human years. So one celestial day equals to 1,600 human years. And they live so long. So and some translate as the the Lord who controls over the creation of others. So they are the bosses of the Nimanrati heaven. So some would translate in that manner. So anyway, so these are the sensual deva realms. So like mentioned, every realm, especially in the sensual realm, have good and bad devas. They have good and bad devas. So like even in a higher sensual realm, there's already Mara that try to obstruct the Buddha and also the monks and nuns and even lay persons in the sutta accounts, in their practice in the spiritual path. So these are the realms. Let's move on to the next one. So next is the Brahma worlds. So the Brahma worlds is the blue column. So right after the pink column, which is the sensual realms, we have all the Brahma worlds. So let's look at the, I know the word's getting smaller. So from the bottom, we have the first jhana plane. So if you look at the most right side of the column, it's mentioned first jhana plane, second jhana plane, third jhana, fourth jhana plane. So basically the blue column, we call them the form worlds, form world. And the orange color will be the formless world. So the formless world will require the formless jhanas, formless concentration. Okay, so let's look at the form jhanas. So the first three, they call it the first jhana plane. So basically anybody who practices the first jhana or they practice loving kindness, they can actually enter the first jhana plane. So they have different variation of strength or depth, and depending on which depth you get reborn into these three different levels. So the most bottom, you have this retinue of Brahma. So we don't look at the lifespan because in this particular column, it's not in line with the suttas. So this diagram is not so accurate, but have a rough idea. The lifespan of the first jhana Brahma is about one Mahakalpa. That means one great eon. So one great eon is about the lifespan of one universe cycle. Yeah, one universe cycle. So that's how long this Brahma world lives. So according to the Buddhist Genesis story, when the universe first appeared, the first being that appeared is this Maha Brahma. So Maha Brahma is the third from the bottom, in the first jhana world. So the Maha Brahma will first appear when the universe appear, and probably when the universe disappear, then he'll go with the new universe. Okay, so you have retinue of the Brahma, then above you have ministers of Brahma, and then you have the great Brahma. Yeah, so these are the three kinds of possibilities a person can be reborn in, but the great Brahma is only one position, one position for one universe. So if a person, let's say, wish to be reborn in the first Brahma realm, first jhana realm, most probably they cannot be reborn as the Maha Brahma. It's either the ministers or the retinue of Brahma. Okay, unless the universe die off and you're the first person that get reborn there, then it's a different case. Okay, then above the first jhana, you have the second jhana. So the second jhana, you have these devas of limited radiance, devas of unbounded radiance, and devas of streaming radiance. So somehow in the second jhana onwards, that doesn't seem to have a hierarchy. Yeah, no more hierarchy. So in the first jhana plane, there's one like a great ruler of sorts, like the Maha Brahma. But in second jhana plane onwards, it is believed that this, according to the Buddhist Genesis story, when the universe is destroyed, all the beings, like from the hell realm and onwards, they get reborn in these Abhasara Devas. Abhasara Devas is very high, you know. So everyone get reborn in this second jhana Brahma world. So the Abhasara is the third from the second jhana plane. So it's number 17, yes, number 17, Abhasara Devas. So when the time is right, then based on the karma, they'll pass away and slowly get downgraded to the different realms. So these are the Abhasara Devas. And above that, we have third jhana plane. Third jhana plane, you have these devas of limited glory, devas of unbounded glory, and devas of radiant glory. So from the first jhana to the third jhana, you can see the lifespan keep increasing. And it gets higher and higher. Same with this fourth jhana plane. You have these very fruitful devas, and you have this interesting thing, mindless devas. Yeah, so you have this very interesting term, mindless devas. So a lot of academics, a lot of scholars, they will say that, okay, if a person meditate and fall asleep, enter samadhi and fall asleep, then you might be reborn as a mindless deva, no mind. So according to the five aggregate, they will say you only have the form aggregate, no feeling, no perception, no mental formation, no consciousness, which I do not know how they operate. But anyway, there's another hypothesis which I heard from some other meditators that the mindless devas are usually projecting their mind and manifesting elsewhere. So they have like a physical kind of body. The mind is not present. It's like always like running around and manifesting outside, appearing somewhere else. So that's their hypothesis or their take on it. So this the mindless devas, longer lifespan, and above it, you have these durable devas, untroubled devas, beautiful devas, clear-sighted devas, and the peerless devas. So all these devas from durable devas and all the way to the peerless devas, these belong to the pure abodes. So these are specially reserved realms for non-returners. That means if a person reach this non-returner, they overcome greed and anger. They overcome the five lower factors: greed, anger. They overcome this doubt in the Dhamma. They overcome clinging to rites and rituals, and they overcome this personality view. Then they will be reborn in this pure abodes, any of this fourth jhana realm. So it is also mentioned that the Bodhisattva, our Buddha, was reborn in all the realms before. He recollected all his past lives. And he recalled that he hasn't been reborn in the pure abodes before. Because if he was reborn in the pure abodes, then he will get enlightenment from there. He won't go into the Tusita heaven and won't be reborn as a human. So that's the pure abodes. That means once a person is there, they'll guaranteed be enlightened from there. So that's for the pure abodes. And the lifespan gets ridiculously longer. And the last four, you have this sphere of infinite space, sphere of infinite consciousness, sphere of nothingness, and this sphere of neither perception nor non-perception. So again, the lifespan is so long, thousands of universe cycles. So that's the formless concentration. So it is believed that this Udaka Ramaputta, one of the teachers that taught the Buddha meditation, was reborn in this sphere of neither perception or non-perception, and this Alara Kalama, sphere of nothingness. So after the Buddha got enlightened, he was looking for these two teachers, to teach them the Dhamma, because that's somehow they kind of the closest, fit the closest criteria. The mind is so calm and so peaceful, they are able to reach enlightenment quickly. But however, because they passed away, they are reborn in this formless concentration, and the Buddha is unable to go there and teach them the Dhamma, or unable to teach them the Dhamma there. So if a person is reborn there without realizing any truth, without reflecting on impermanence, a bit hard to realize the truth. So a person, if they use up the good karma there, who knows, they might be reborn back into the lower realms. So that could be one of the dangers. So same with any of the other Brahma worlds, except for the pure abode. So that's the end of my sharing. Okay, if not, we go for a 5-minute break, then we come back here for the guided meditation. Okay, see you later. All right, okay. I presume most people are back, so we're going to start the meditation. Due to the shortage of time, we are going right into the Brahma Viharas. So we're going to feel the sensations of the body. We call this mindfulness of the 4 elements: earth, fire, wind, water. So basically that's the first aggregate. So the objective is not to control the elements. We are not trying to produce unnecessary craving, and not getting what we want will lead to suffering. So we don't will or control it. We let them appear naturally by themselves. And when they appear, we just make peace with them. We're going to wish them well and happy. So the wishing them well and happy is part of right thought, and the repetition is called right effort. So try not to leave the mind idle and do nothing. So keep on repeating the right thought as though it's a mantra. And then we synchronize with the sensations. So the more we keep on generating the right thought, we always use the Four Noble Truths as the checklist to troubleshoot ourselves. So the more we generate the right thought, and that's the fourth noble truth, it should lead to the third noble truth, which is the reducing of craving and stress. So if our mind gets calmer, means we are on the right track. The emphasis is on generating the right thought, not to expect calming. Expecting would create craving and stress. So the mind should be able to calm down to this baseline emotion. That means you find that the mind cannot calm down any further. There's like a maximum limit to which the mind can calm down. And that would be the neutral kind of emotion, and we will use it for reference later. So in this state, considered wholesome, but no jhanas. So it's still not the Brahma world kind of frequency yet. And depending on how fast you can calm the mind, requires your daily kind of lifestyle, the right speech, right action, right thoughts. So this will determine your level of wholesomeness, which kind of sensual, human or deva realm your frequency might be in. And once we've taken note of this neutral baseline emotion, we are going to kind of upgrade. We are going to cultivate this boundless loving kindness. We are going to wish, may all beings in all directions be well and happy. So we don't have to purposely push the mind. We let it extend naturally by itself. However far it wishes to extend doesn't matter. And in that widened sphere of attention, we are going to perceive all beings being made of the four elements. So that's the non-discrimination approach, lowest common denominator. So whatever sensation appear, we are going to wish all beings well and happy. So the same Four Noble Truth. Keep on wishing all beings well and happy. No need to imagine, we just use the four elements. So if all the conditions are right, you have all the right thought, right effort, everything, the practice of loving kindness may trigger this first level of concentration. So if there's any increment of peace or happy, joyful emotion, then that would be the indicator. And regardless of what you experience, if you do not want to use up all the karmas and get downgrade to a lower frequency, continue to turn the Dhamma wheel, keep on wishing all beings well and happy. And we are going to now move on to the second sublime state, which is compassion. So for compassion, we are going to wish may all beings be free from suffering. And using the same non-discrimination approach, we are going to keep on wishing may all beings be free from suffering. Whenever sensation appear, don't have to over-imagine or worry any scenario. As long as all beings, we cling on to the aggregates, we start to imagine and dramatize, and that is kind of suffering. So we prevent over-dramatizing, just come back to the mantra, may all beings be free from suffering. Okay, so the conventional compassion is to worry for people. Are they okay? How to help them? So very draining. So now we're learning the recharging kind of compassion. And if all the conditions are right, this compassion will have some kind of joy in it, and it's more peaceful. So that's the concentrative kind of compassion, usually the second level of concentration. And regardless of what you experience, keep on wishing all beings free from suffering. Treat everything else as a distraction or passing phenomenon. And then we move on to the third sublime state, which is appreciative joy. And we are going to rejoice in the accomplishments of all beings. Same thing using the non-discrimination approach. All beings, every moment, they'll experience something. Any sensation appear, we'll all gain a new experience. So when we experience something, we can rejoice with all beings. A new sensation appear, rejoice with all beings. And the same thing, all the conditions are right, you have all the right thought, right effort, everything, and one may experience the happiness of the third level of concentration. And regardless of what you experience, keep on rejoicing with all beings. Treat everything else as a distraction and passing phenomenon. And then we can move on to the fourth sublime state, which is equanimity. And we're going to reflect on the concept of karma. All beings, we reap what we sow. And in this routine, there's no need to speculate what we've done before in the past. We just observe the real-time evidence. Whatever sensation appear, we just label karma as ripening. We try to identify karmas. We try not to overreact and dramatize. They'll be creating unnecessary karmas. So the objective of equanimity is to not get shaken by the ups and downs, especially any dramas, any pleasant, unpleasant experiences. So we just keep labeling karmas, right? Karma is ripening. And the same thing, if the mind is more accepting towards karma, all the conditions are right, one may experience this neutral but refreshing kind of experience. So we call that equanimity. And regardless of what you experience, keep on label karma's ripening. And then we add some insight or some wisdom. We are now going to reflect on impermanence. So whatever sensation you detect, you just observe how they arise and pass away. And we need to label also arising and passing. And before we conclude this session, same gentle reminder in all activities, whether standing, sitting, walking, or lying down, we can always be mindful of impermanence. And with that, we can gently open our eyes, formally end the session. Informally, still can generate right thought. Hey, any questions or issues? If there's nothing, then we do the concluding chant. Dedicating merits. Akasata Japumata Devanaga Mahitika Punyang Tang Anumoditva Chirang Rakantu Loka Sasanang Etavata Cha Amhehi Sampadang Punya Sampadang Sabe Deva Sabe Puta Sabe Sata Anumodantu Sabba Sampati Siddhya. Dedication of merits to departed. Idang me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idang me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idang me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Aspiration. Imina punya kamena mame bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yavanibana patiya sadhu sadhu sadhu. And we end off by paying respects to the Buddha. Can bow 3 times. First bow. Second bow. Third bow. Hey, any announcements from Terence?
Gentle reminder, Bante, next week is a closed session.
Yeah, so next week is the non-live stream version. So it's just purely Zoom. So it's more like if you paise and want to ask questions in the live stream, you can come next week and discuss any spicy, dicey topics. And that's about it. Yeah. Good night.